All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. Deborah's off tonight. Today is Thursday, June 11th, 2009. I have on the phone with me Gale St. John, Kevin Doyle. We have a special guest. Kevin, would you like to introduce him, please?
Sure, Brian. His name is Pengchon. I've known him probably for about a week. He searches for missing persons too, just like we do. And
Hi.
Go ahead, guys.
That's not Pengchon, by the way, people. That's
Brian's kid.
Brian's kid.
Sorry, real quick. Tonight we're not going to be doing any cases. Deborah's still under the weather, so we're hoping that she's going to get better soon. I've done a lot of cases. I'm not prepared to do them again. I'm really sorry, but we'll get them done. And our next show will be on Sunday.
I'm leaving for Florida.
Okay.
I'm in Ohio, so everybody knows. I think everybody else. I'm leaving for Florida in probably around Tuesday to Thursday. And we're going to be working on the Ocasio case. So any input would be good. I have my own stuff written down, but I'm going down to do this preliminary work and the search with Cindy.
Okay. You can keep us updated, Gil. This is, I said it's going to be show and tell. I couldn't find anything to show, so they came in here. This is Allison. So anything you guys want to talk about, Kevin, or anybody, if you want to talk about something, we can do that. But there won't be any cases tonight. So.
Okay. I'd like to introduce Pengchon to everybody.
Oh yeah, sorry, Penn. I had just met Penn. From what I hear, he does. He works on missing persons cases, and he's helping out Kevin. So we're very happy to have him with us. We look forward to his work too. Like I said, we need as much help as we can get. So we appreciate that, Penn, and thank you for being with us. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay. Pengchon, if you would like to explain to everybody a little bit about yourself, that'd be great, man.
Okay, hi, thanks. My name is Pengchon, and nice to meet you, Brian and Kevin and Gail. Well, first of all, I don't normally or often do missing cases, and all these times in my practice in spirituality and psychic development, I always see myself in position to offer help in finding missing people out there in the world.
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
Go ahead, Gail.
I just want to find out, what nationality are you?
I'm Cambodian.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm living in California. I've been here for 25 years.
I just think it's interesting to find out the different backgrounds on people.
Yeah, it's nice to understand the background, but as for my background, it doesn't really do much help in understanding where I'm coming from, because I'm actually I used to be a Christian's influence. I used to be an ex-Christian, and so most of the things that I do spiritually consist of Christian concepts.
Okay. Well, I think Brian's more on the Buddhist ways. I don't know, Kevin, about your religious preferences. I come from a Christian background, but I don't say that I support commercial religion. I'm spiritual. So I don't think I'd be called a religious person in any way. But I really, for me, my passion is missing persons.
Virus database has been updated.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Virus Data. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Gil.
Yeah, that's my passion and has been for 30 years now. So I'm glad to see you here and giving, a try and using some of your abilities to do that, because I think if you have those abilities, you should definitely put them to use to help others.
And Gail's just not saying that. She does that on a daily basis. She's been to, well, she's worked on hundreds of cases, but she's actually been to, I'd say, what, 50, 60 cases on location?
Oh, more than that.
Okay. And actually, I met Gale St. John about a missing person case. You remember that, Gale?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got fault table.
I actually contacted Brian.
Yep.
He had some information on the case, and it was similar to mine. I said, hey, do you want to work together?
And I said no.
Yeah, that's
I said no. I work alone. Where?
But we've all teamed up, it's just, a better way to help people. A better way to help people, and like I said, it's been my passion for 30 years. So, and I've also been quitting for 30 years. So that's the big joke around me. I'm always quitting because I'm frustrated, but I'm never quitting. It's really the truth. I just get frustrated. I can't go out on every search, and for me, that's really frustrating. But I have been to Japan on searches and done physical searches in Japan, located the person I was looking for. Those are good. That's a good feeling. When you can help a family, that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. Do that. Kevin?
Yes, I'm here, Brian.
Okay.
Sorry, I was had a couple different things I was doing on the computer there.
Oh, okay.
But Pengchon, do you do anything else? I mean, I'm just a better understanding of who you are and everything. I live in Florida here. I got a 12-year-old son, single dad. I do all kinds of things. I do orb research where there's a lot of orb activity on our property, and we go out there and try to take pictures of them. I also make what I call orgone devices, and what an orgone device does is basically help to balance the energy that's around the device, the people and environment. Let's see.
Come on.
So,
I'm going to be there shortly, Kevin.
Florida?
Well, yeah, I said, did you hear me earlier? I said, I'm leaving on the Ocasio case.
Okay, that's Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to be there. Probably I'm going to leave Wednesday or Thursday. I'm hoping if I can catch a flight out. I've been trying to get a flight.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be down there with a few others, initiating the search. So any information that you or I don't know if you've worked the Ocasio case, Tracy Ocasio. Any of the guys that work that case or can work that case, I'd appreciate any information before we head down there.
Yep. Looking at my notes here. Let's see if I think I did that Casio. I believe I did.
Well, that father is heartbroken. Daughter is gone, and
Yes, Ocasio.
Right.
I have a live abducted local hamburger restaurant, raging rapids in a stream of water, hitchhiking pickup truck, heading west, I-95, back roads, white male, 52 years old, Charlie.
Okay.
Then my notes after the meditation. Sorry?
Now, as long as you worked it, can you email me those?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
All right. Email those notes to me. And also, Brian, have you worked the case?
Yeah, 764. I'm opening it right now.
Brian, I just emailed you Pengchon's some of the work he did on some of the cases here.
Okay.
Well, and maybe he'd want to work this case as well, if you're interested.
Pengchon, would you be interested in working that case? Tracy
Okay, yeah.
Cassie?
Yeah, I'll be glad to assist and help.
Any assistance is always appreciated. Like I said, we're going down to the actual physical search, so anything that you can draw off that. Her name is Tracy Ocasio.
Oh, I did send Pengchon the email. He hasn't had a chance to work on her case yet. He already emailed me and said that when he can, he will work that case.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
But Pengchon, you had that email I sent you, and you've already worked a few of the cases, and you have some pretty good information and interesting information from your Pengchon, how do you do that when you try to search for a missing person? What steps do you do or whatever?
Alright, as for being a clairvoyant, or perhaps I'm more of the original people that develops to a point where, you know, perhaps you can self-proclaim yourself as clairvoyant, but I just, let's just say, become more perspective in what I see in mind and what I develop over the years.
Fine.
How I actually perform my routine, it's more like the first thing I do is that there's two methods I actually perform. This is more like an interior based on what is perceived through your thought, your perhaps in a form of imaginative world, and another I perceive through or through the physical perception, as in being what's being projected on what I'm holding for my hand. Almost like you know how a gypsy would view her crystal ball and would perceive image inside the crystal ball, but what I do is that I'm actually perceiving visually on any kind of blank surface, and my subconscious just randomly characterize or create, animate, and put images that I can uh, make some sense out of. And most of the images that I see are not really that doesn't really make any sense at all. Sometimes I see like a partial, just the eye, just the head, or just a person walking in shadows and forms, and sometimes I see structures and just outlines of anything. But more clearly, when I'm actually perceiving through my mind, is actually a lot more more visual, more perceptive, more clearer, more sharper than I perceived on the material aspect. So before I actually perform what's going through my mind with my eyes closed, like in a form of meditation, I'll see what I can see from there. And after that, I would do other process where I'm holding a blank paper before me and I'm actually projecting what I can actually capture, what I can actually see being developed or being drawn spiritually on the paper. And that kind of helps me a little bit more because I'm actually seeing something that's not created by my imagination, not my thought, not by the ego, but I'm allowing it to allow it to appear as though I am putting my own inner flashlight towards the paper.
Wow, that kind of sounds like what Brian does in his dreams, but he does it differently. He also Brian posts his dreams on his website, and he has pictures that he's drawn and places that he's drawn and other things that he's drawn through his dreams concerning whatever it is he's dreaming about. And he does a lot of work with missing persons. That's why he is NPR, which is the missing persons radio program. But, Brian, are you there?
Yeah,
I
sorry,
don't know if
Kevin. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was cutting an apple for Allison. She's over here to my left.
Could you explain a little bit to Pengchon what you do?
Sure. What I do is I work with Deborah. She sends me case information, usually just a picture and a name. I usually print that, put it under my pillow, and then I record my dreams at night. Then I post that to the case file, and then I ask for input from everybody else, including Gale. And then we just go from there. We do a lot of research. Gale sometimes the family contacts her, and we talk about that. And then Gale a lot of times she'll actually follow up on the information that we have, and she'll go to the location and help assist in locating the missing people. So she's going to be going on one here in a couple days, and she just came from Arizona, and then she had what 4 trips to Florida, Gale?
5.
5 trips to Florida. So that's what I do. My website started off as just me posting my my dreams, and that just kind of got popular. And then I decided to turn toward missing persons. I don't know exactly why, but I do know that you contacted me, Kevin, over the Trenton Duckett case, and that's how we got to know each other.
Yep.
So I make it all public, and you know, if the information helps out somebody, then use it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it doesn't hurt posting what I have. So we're always looking for people to help out. Anybody.
Hey, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about how you actually obtain information from your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Last night I was actually writing down some names that Kevin gave to me,
Mm-hmm.
and on the Cynthia Ann McLean.
Uh-huh.
I had a dream about it, but it was very distorted in a way that the moment I woke up, all I can remember is the information is more like either misinformed or informed, but the word is Mexico, and I actually saw the person there, along with whoever they're with.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw the background, but I wasn't able to obtain complete background information or complete detailed information. And I'm just wondering, how do you actually manage to remember, all of what you're seeing?
Well, first of all, I don't really remember anything the next day, but I try to focus in my dreams. I'm more like the observer, not actually part of it. I try to get as many numbers as possible, because I found that getting numbers is it's a lot easier to research stuff with numbers. But I've just gotten really good at being able to wake myself up and just actually record that dream. I do use a voice recorder sometimes, and I do use paper and pencil. And I've actually used a webcam before, but I think the best thing that's worked for me is just paper and pencil. I keep that next to me when, I actually got several papers and pencils and stuff where I sleep at. I think for me it's just I've gotten used to be able to wake myself up, record my dream, and go back to sleep. And I think that was the hardest thing for me, is actually getting into the habit of doing that. Because it's really that's something you don't want to do, especially if it's a good dream. You don't want to wake up and have to do something and then go back to sleep. So I think once I've overcome that, that makes it a little easier. But I think just practice, and I just go for the numbers.
Get trouble with Brian?
What's that?
Actually having a dream, wanting to wake up from the dream, then wake up from it, and get up, walk around a minute, and go back and start the dream all over again.
Yeah. I try not to move too much though. When I'm actually getting so used to it.
I'm not wanting to have the dream. That's why I get up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To get that out of, and then I go back to sleep, and the dream starts in all over again.
Yeah. Well, you can control your dreams. At least I can. I mean, I can end a dream.
Shut that one off. I need to shut some of those off.
You know how I actually kill myself. Allison, come on. When I kill myself in the dream, the dream ends. It goes on to something else.
Maybe I need to find how to do that.
It's a what you if you can control your dreams. You don't know how to do that, Gale?
No.
You just let them. Well, first of all,
all,
well, the first thing you do is you have to realize it's a dream. You have to know it's a dream. I'm real sorry, my kids are knocking stuff over. You realize that it's a dream, and you have control of the dream because it's your dream. And I also know that a lot of my dreams, I think, come from somewhere. A lot of people want to refer to it as the universal consciousness. I just think we're all connected. We're all picking up on certain types of energy or whatever, and that you're an observer and you can change the channels. And like I said before, I go to sleep, I meditate. Meditate where I clear my mind to prevent me from having dreams that are related to what happened during the day, what I was thinking about before I went to sleep, or something like that. Because if I do think about stuff during the day, I'm going to get dreams that are based on what I was thinking before I went to bed. Like if I went to sleep tonight, I'd probably have a dream about apples. You know, I dream about apples. I don't want to. One of the things I don't want to dream about the apple. I want to picture your mind is like an antenna, okay, and you're just trying to just receive stuff, just pick stuff up, and don't worry about where it's coming from. Don't think, just receive. That's what I do.
I did work on that thing you said about putting things under my pillow.
Yes.
Okay, I did do that.
And don't think about it though.
I didn't think about it, but I wonder now. Just a question: since you do the dreams, is that possible? Do you think to do something like that? Say it's something you want to happen. Do you think that you could bring that about? Seriously, I mean, I think people want to know that.
You mean like remote influencing?
Yeah.
Ask Kevin. I am not sure. I really don't know. I think it's possible. Kevin is into remote influencing, but I don't know. There's a lot. Actually, there's a lot I don't know. What do you think, Kevin?
We are all born remote influencers, I think, but to be more awakened in your ability to remote influence, that's the key right there. And we all have our own ways of doing that. I mean, I can relate to everybody, you know, and how I do it, but the best way to learn remote influencing is probably to, in my opinion, to hear other people's remote influencing experiences. And all remote influencing is just another name for the law of attraction or something to that effect, in my opinion. It's just, I don't know. I mean, anything's possible, Gale.
I just wondered that, because Brian talked about putting some of that stuff under, your pillow, and I think it's more of a mind thing, you know what I mean? But you're doing it as your focus point to help you out. Because, I mean, I use a lot of focus, like focus techniques and stuff when I'm working. I use a lot of those. I just wondered, if that's something that's...
I don't think it is a mind thing, though. Yeah, I just think that first of all, you have to learn how to meditate. And when I meditate, I mean, I'm saying when I meditate, there's really no thought. It's just you're just there. You try not to think about anything. And when you do that, it's amazing how much stuff comes to you, how much clearer, I guess, your mind is. But I do that before I go to sleep. And thus doing that, I think a lot of my dreams don't come from what's in my conscious or subconscious or whatever. I think that it comes from elsewhere. There has been research done on this, not too much, but I do know that Edgar Cayce worked a lot with hypnosis, and it's sort of like that is kind of what I do. As far as putting stuff under your pillow, I think that he had done that too, and I think that doing that, I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I think not asking the question how it works is why it works. I'm not exactly sure how you want to say it. Kind of like faith, kind of like how you believe in God, but you don't have to have proof. Kind of along those lines. We really put too much thought and energy into figuring out why this is working instead of just maybe accept it. For the time being, at least, I know we're all curious. I'm very curious, and just go with that. I think if I put too much thought into why it works, I think I'm going to get dreams that aren't coming from that.
Right.
that whatever you want to call it, universal consciousness or whatever. I do know that we're all connected somehow. I think, and we're all energy, and that if we're all connected, then anything's possible. At least that's what I think. And this thing on my face, this says find, and this says Aji, and this says .com. So I had to plug the website tonight. So that's what it says. If anybody's curious. But Kat, I know.
Any other opinions out here? I think everybody does things different. I don't know. I guess I'm fascinated by dreaming because I don't do it.
You dream. Everybody dreams.
Yeah, but I mean not, types like yours are. Listen, if anybody had to see one of my dreams, they'd be scared. I'm either running from someone, or I drive off a cliff constantly in my dreams.
You're killing yourself, right?
In every dream.
I'm telling you, I don't.
Or someone's chasing me that I cannot see.
The only thing that bothers me is when I kill myself in a dream. I always wonder, what if one day I'm not in a dream, right? And I really do it, which I don't think will happen. But you can control your dreams, and I'm saying, and I do know that your dreams can predict the future. They can help you. They can help you with a lot of things. They can help other people. There's a reason why we have dreams, and we don't really understand it all. And I think these are some of the things that your dreams can do.
Yeah, but you know what? How come some people have? I've heard people say, "Well, I have a dream, and this usually happens or not." My only dreams I've had since I was a child that I remember always are always the type where someone's after me, but I can't see them, and the one where I drive off the cliff.
Okay.
Always reoccurring ever since I was a kid, and I don't really have the.
Okay.
I don't really have the silly, nonsensical dreams.
Here's one thing I want to say, and I'm not putting down people that interpret dreams or whatever, but maybe I am in a way. There's no way anybody can tell you what your dreams mean and what they represent or something like that, because there's no really set rules on how you get that information. Just like the field of psychics. I mean, how can somebody say I'm an expert psychic when really we haven't even defined really what a psychic is? There's no schools for it because it's not understood. I think, like I said, we're thinking too much into it. I can't really tell you what your dreams mean. I think only you can. Maybe, write on a piece of paper and with a marker or something. What does this dream mean? The one you're talking about. Fold it up, put it under your pillow, and see what you get. I think the most important thing I've learned is to record your dreams. However the easiest way, the way you feel most comfortable, do it, and then learn from your own dreams. But I don't think anybody can tell you what your dreams mean. I mean, people say, there's books that are sold on dream meanings, they interpret dreams. Well, where does this information come from? It comes from another person. And is that person right? I don't know. But I think that
You don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could make up something and say this is what I think your dream means. But to be honest, I don't know. I think that your dreams are your dreams. And then you should learn from your own dreams. But the first thing I would recommend though is definitely meditation. If you don't know how to meditate, learn. And it's actually unlearning.
I know how to meditate.
Well, the thing is,
been a big part of my life.
There's too much.
It's just something that's just so weird to me.
Yeah, but when I say meditation, I mean just sit there, don't move, and just clear your mind, no thoughts at all. And for a lot of people, that's really, really hard to do. It was like that for me. For a lot of people that are new, just concentrate on your breathing, like just sit, and breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and just vision your air going in and out through your body, and that can help you meditate. But you want to get to the point where you're not thinking at all, and that is so basic. And when you finally do it, you're like, oh my gosh, that's all it was. And then you can over time in practice you can do it all the time. I mean there's monks, Buddhist monks, and a lot of other different types of religions that can they're almost always like that. And I want to kind of say that's the state of nirvana. But if you haven't been to that, if you haven't experienced that no thought moment, you have to. Really, it's absolutely amazing. There's so much you can do with it. And not only that, it's got health benefits. We know it has health benefits. So, but I think that.
Well, that's the thing.
I think the only problem with humans. I think all species. I think every other species of animal on Earth is enlightened already there, and we just. I think our brains just got out of control. Too many useless thoughts that go through your mind that are what's really causing, I guess, psychosis or whatever. We're causing so many mental problems that we really don't need. So meditation and no drugs. I think once the meditation thing is going, you can really be amazed at how productive you can be it in anything. But
I'm the one that's the spirit don't mix.
Yeah.
So no alcohol, no drugs.
Well, I like to drink beer. Not
when I'm working. When I don't.
Well, no, that doesn't make any sense. But no, I mean, there's. I don't know, Gale. I don't know.
There are people out here who drink and do believe that what they're seeing is, well, we experienced that. Somebody who's drinking and thinking that, and that was just that I would definitely say that it's hallucinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the effects of any of that stuff, any substances on the body, would be. But I do know that you can reach that nirvana state without any of that stuff. And I think once you do, you'll be like, especially if you're dependent on something, you're like, well, why would I even need that? Because I think most of the substances that you take actually try to get you to that nirvana state artificially, anyways.
Right.
When you consume certain types of drugs or whatever, I think your brain just releases some type of dopamine or endorphins or whatever to get you to that state anyways. But I think the key is to let your body do it naturally. Don't trick the body into to getting into that state when it's not really supposed to be, because then the body will get used to that and then build a dependency, and your tolerance will go lower and lower, and then you're going to need more and more. And it's just a never-ending process, and eventually you'll just, I guess, die. I don't know.
Well, Calvin, what's your comment? And Penn first, and Tom?
As far as dreaming or remote influence?
Either one of you.
Well, I can say something about that. I agree with Brian. It's very important to be able to understand what you're putting into your body and how you're actually trying to get in a way that, well, let's just say that for me, I take this as a serious case where, I take care of myself. I work out. I ground myself. I, give myself a balanced diet. Drink a lot of water, and I only do this because not the benefit of being confident in my credibility in offering answers to anybody, but because I myself am more of a healer than a clairvoyant. I'm a Reiki level 2 practitioner, but before that I was actually performing healing as well. And because of this, I take health in a serious case where, if you're a healer yourself, you cannot, you have to be able to maintain a very good, healthy aspect of being a person that can heal and offer healing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's just say that to me, a person's. Let's just say that, in my belief, I believe that to be a healer, you have to be able to be someone that can be looked up to in a way that, hey, if you're a preacher, you have to follow what you preach. And as for me, I follow what I do as a healer. I maintain myself in a good physical condition. I make sure that I am mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally balanced. And this is all very important because it points to your credibility and how you present yourself to other people. If you're not healthy, then what kind of healer are you?
Do you think
And
I'm saying, do you think in being in that fit state of mind and body, it's a lot easier to do your job, though, isn't it? Don't you find it that way? I mean, it's a lot easier to do what you do, being a sound mind and body, right?
well, to me, it offers more confidence in
Mhm.
what you do. You don't have to, doubt yourself in saying that, hey, because I, drank last night and I received an incredible vision of God, and you tell people and saying that, hey, I saw God, and they'll ask you, what were you doing last night? Did you drink? Did you use any kind of drugs? Did you, put
Okay.
anything into your body?
Mhm.
And that just loses credibility.
Right.
But yeah, but what you said about like making things a lot easier for you, that is true.
Mhm.
You're actually putting more control into yourself.
I mean, like myself, I know I need to, get in better shape. I know I need to exercise more, because, doing that helps me meditate easier, and thus my dreams are a lot clearer. Um, I know that, but but I also understand that I do have flaws, and I know what they are, and a lot of times I don't fix them. I should, I don't, but I don't really get too hard on myself. Um, but I do admit that I have flaws. I think we all have flaws, and we understand that. But that's why I'm really not a teacher, because I hate saying I'm a teacher, because I really don't know enough to teach. At least in my own view, I don't think I know enough to teach. A lot of people do. I don't.
Pengchon, Jamie in the chat room has 2 questions for you. One is, where did you learn your abilities? And the next question is, was your family active with you in your abilities?
Well, pretty much where I am in my family, I'm actually alone in what I do. My only connection with spirituality and practice and development is actually with my friends. And it's very hard to find, people around your age to actually help and support you in your development. They're always influenced by, sports, video games, and just to, enjoy life the way they want it. But as for me, in spirituality, I always find that, it's calling to me. I feel I'm always, I always feel different from other people. So, so what started me in this path is trying to understand who you are, understanding more about yourself, trying to take advantage in life. But in the end result, it turns out that, I'm not actually looking for myself. I'm actually heading towards the wrong path.
That's cool.
I'm really interested in seeing what you've come up with in a lot of these missing person cases, because we'll definitely use your information.
Now, Brian, you should have that email I sent you. I don't know.
Yeah, I got the camera off right now. I'm actually watching. I'm watching Allison right now.
I'm definitely interested in the Ocasio.
He hasn't done that one yet. But he would send it as soon as it comes to me.
Like I said, I'm not leaving until probably till next Thursday.
Well, I'll do a few more meditations on it for you too. So.
Yeah, and send some healing my way.
Yeah, and my right eyeball is still killing me, Kevin. I scratched it the other day.
I can do some radionics on it too.
Okay. Don't forget about my sister.
If I can astro travel to give a person a unconditional love energy hug, to where they call me on the phone the next day and tell me what a wonderful dream they had concerning me giving them a hug, then I can sure as heck send positive energy to you guys. So.
Well, thank you, Kevin. How often, Kevin? I got a question. How often do you think that works? Do you think that the person has to know that you're doing it in order for it to work, or do they have to believe in it?
I do what I call unconscious mind communication with certain people, and for the most part, I've used that to concerning difficult situations that I've been in. I should use it every day, but it's just one of those things that either you use it or you don't. But it's hard to explain for me. It's unconscious mind to me knows all. It knows when you're going to die. It knows when you're going to lose your job or whatever. All the good things and what you consider to be the good things and bad things in life. Your unconscious mind knows all. And there's ways to tap into your unconscious mind, which is unlimited information. Edgar Casey did it, and a lot of other people do it as well. And not everybody makes it public, but you and Gale do. I think your ability's public as far as what I consider to be tapping into the unconscious mind. But I've done it with people, Brian, and they don't believe in it. And I've never explained it to them. I just went straight to their unconscious mind and said, hey, look, I know you're having this challenge right now, and I'm here to help you. Do you want my help? And the unconscious mind, it doesn't have any emotions. It doesn't think like the conscious mind does. The conscious mind is so immature, it's not even funny, because we're all kids on this planet, believe it or not. No matter how old you are, we are all kids, in my opinion. But yeah, I do it without people even believing in it, because like I said, I've astro traveled and gave my Aunt Barbara a hug, and my Aunt Barbara is a very spiritual, psychic person, and she'll tell you that she is, so she's not afraid of talking about it. But the other person that I gave a hug to, after I gave her a hug, was another relative who doesn't believe in stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yet I received a phone call from her like a day or two later, and I hardly ever received phone calls from her. Hardly ever received phone calls from her.
So there's something to it, though.
In my opinion, there's something there. You know what? It's all in what you believe, and that affects reality. It doesn't matter what other people believe.
It's proven that the what's it called, the pseudo effect works. There are people that are healed, via faith, via a sugar pill or whatever, that are healed. That's because their body believes. And what is belief? I mean, I guess it's different for everybody, but there is something more out there. I mean, and I think we all know that we're connected, and we're all made of the same stuff. And like I said, the table of elements, and I'm not exactly sure how many elements there are, but from when we looked, in space and everything, the entire universe is made up of the same stuff, and to me, that's really, really comforting. And so we're all connected somehow, and we do know that. We don't. People don't know for sure, but there's an afterlife. We continue on. We wouldn't go through millions of years of evolution just to go ahead and disappear when you die. And I think that the fear of death is what really causes a lot of people to make some decisions in their life that they wouldn't do if they weren't if they weren't scared to die. I mean, the fear of death people use to control people. I mean, if a lot of people have abused that power, I think, saying that this will happen to you if you die if you don't do this. And I inherently, I think we all know what's right and wrong. So I don't know. Gale, what do you know?
I think so, and I don't have a fear of death. I have a fear of how I have to get there. I
have a fear of death. I have a fear of death. But it's slowly going away, especially with dreams. If like I said before, if death is what happens in my dreams, I'm all for it. But I don't want to die. But I still do have a fear of death. I think we have a fear of the unknown. But we also have a desire in us to explore, and to understand things and stuff. And I think that's because of our very active brain. I'm looking at my cat right now, and I don't think my cat's thinking anything other than this human here is crazy. you know. Here's another thing. Just watch your cat for a couple hours. Just there and stare at a cat, okay, and just look how peaceful they are. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
I don't know. I think if I stared at my cat for a couple hours, Brian, I might go nuts because my cat's always chasing flies up the wall and running. You know what I mean? I got a crazy cat. Well, I don't know if I want to watch my cat. Might not be the thing.
I think in the chat room people are talking about psychics in especially the really famous psychics that are making a lot of money and stuff off of people, which is fine. But they don't really have I guess maybe a track record to show what they've done. They just show one side of the story. They just, like on these TV shows, you'll only see the stuff that they have gotten right, not the wrong stuff. And I do kind of disagree with that. I think that everything should be out there. You shouldn't have to cover up something because you might be correct, even though it's wrong at the time. In the future, it might happen, or it might not. But I don't think that ego and psychic should go together.
Well, maybe that's why I make my stuff public. You know what I mean? Because I think we've come to some strange idea where because someone who claims to be psychic, that it's always right.
Oh, it's yours. You have it.
Psychic is, you want to say that word, I'm not even sure I like the word, but doesn't mean that you're always right. You have to still interpret what you see.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with not, if I didn't interpret something correctly, then it should be known that, no, this is not an exact science, that I'm always learning, always growing, and always, seeking in more answers. I can be wrong, and that's the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have so many books that have come out, and we have so many TV shows that have come out that aren't telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And I'm, big one to saying that's kind of what started me out going out on the physical searches, is because I'm saying if I'm willing to talk about it, I should be willing to go out and search.
Right. Well, you've done it. And I don't know too many people that. Right.
And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But the point is, I'm out there trying to do something good to help others. But I can't just sit there and talk about it. I have to do something about it.
My goal is to get everybody. That says they're psychic, or everybody to open their minds and join together, especially for missing person cases. Because what I found, for me, I think that's the most productive thing I can do, as far as I know of, is to help in that area. Everybody to put their input in, and then have somebody look over all of it. And not to be skeptical about it, just to see how much stuff is in common, and then act on it.
Right.
I think that there are a lot of psychics out there that their information is, they're telling people about it, but it's never really followed up on. They don't, it's just okay. That's great. Just put it out there and just to see, what happens. So I think what I'm saying is a closed mind. I think is actually hurting a lot of missing person cases.
Well, and like I said, we have too many of the books out there saying blah blah blah, so and so's right. And you're showing every case that everyone's ever been right about. I really think the truth needs to be out there about it. You know what I mean? And you need to be truthful about your own abilities, truthful about who you are and what you're doing. In order to be passionate, you have to be truthful.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that for me is a big issue. You have to be honest about what you're doing, and I think one of the bigger things that's bothered me about other people, like you spoke about, is ego. Ego is such an, I'm not saying everyone has some type of ego, and you try to keep it whatever, toned down, or however you want to put it. But the thing is, when your ego gets the best of you, you've lost everything that you're working for.
Right, and that's really hard to control as far as ego goes. At least for me it is. You know, I have an ego, and I disagree with it. But it's just, you know, we're human. We are technically insane. I think most of us are. I think I am. So it's hard to get that in check because everybody wants to, you know, say, hey, I'm right and you're wrong, and it's not the way it should be.
Well, and your big-headed people out there that get famous too. You know what I mean? And that's always an issue.
Well, a lot of people want to be famous. I mean, I think everybody, in some way or another, kind of wants to, you know, people to follow them, to believe in them. And,
sure, do you really? Because I don't.
I think if everybody's honest with themselves, I think that they're.
From cameras.
Well, I'm just saying that we all have flaws, and you know.
I try to duck out, and they always seem to find me.
But we've literally worked with, you know, hundreds of psychics, and well, at least asked to work with hundreds of psychics. And Gale, you, Kevin, and a few other people are the only persons that actually decided to stick with it, no matter what. So thank you for that. Thank you, Kevin. We've had a few other people. I know Dalton, Travis, Reggie, but they're all from you. You know, you've actually, you know, met them. So Kevin, you know, people just there's some psychics that, you know, say, hey, don't post this if I'm wrong. Well, that's pointless because we just, you know, this isn't like we're doing psychic readings like for my love life or something like that. This is serious stuff. If you have some information or a vision or something, put it out there because it.
Put it out there.
Well, right, because the benefits outweigh the whatever that word is. The benefits outweigh it. So just put it out there. You know.
Well, that's my thought on it.
But.
Well, maybe if you believe in karma, it might be a good idea to try to help, you know, find missing persons, because if you believe that you do good deeds and they all come back to you, then there you go. Right, and it's not just a psychic thing. I've seen people in the forums. I look at some forums. Well, I look at the forums and stuff, and you know, and for every 100 people that are viewing, only one person actually replies and posts some information on the missing person case. And I'm sure that applies to Web Sleuths. Web Sleuths is probably the #1 forum for helping find missing people. And I guarantee that, you know, like I said, for every one person that's actually posting something, 100 people are just looking, and they're just looking, just to look, just like watching Nancy Grace or something like that. But you know, unlike Nancy Grace, Web Sleuths, you can participate. And you know, like I said, just by doing one thing or printing one photo or something like that, if everybody did that, we'd have a lot fewer missing people. At least that's my own opinion.
Well, you know what I've said about going out searching. If everybody would look who's missing in a 100-mile radius of their own area and get some organized searches, we might have a few less missing people. Right. I mean, this gets me. I saw Nancy Grace. I did start watching it again. You have to join in your community. Yeah, here it is. Breaking news. Haley, another Haley, disappeared. Okay, with her mother though. Okay, and her boyfriend or whatever, who is of course a pedophile. And that's breaking news. Okay, but Aji is still missing, and none of that coverage is happening. And that kind of gets to me. That's why we keep promoting, you know, findaji.com. But I don't know. It's just really aggravating in a ways too. Just to see what you got to have the drama in the story to get people to pay attention. I understand totally.
So you're saying that if Aji just had a little more drama?
Yeah, even if we have to make something up, we were thinking about doing it.
Well, what Brian's saying is I need to go back down there and get grabbed by an alligator this time because apparently.
If that's what it takes, Gale. Gale, you've lived your life, Gale. You're a lot older than he is. Okay.
Well, we are who makes the media. All of us are. Even if we don't watch TV, I think we're all part of it.
Yeah, but see, Brian's willing to give me up for Aji. I
sure am. What's a leg, Gale? You have to.
Thanks, Brian.
And just think about. I heard studies show that people that lose their legs actually have better blood circulation and better blood pressure.
I'm gonna tell you something, Brian. It wasn't my idea to just turn around and have an alligator kind of right there.
Yeah.
Okay. And
We
you
don't-
saw the pictures. Did you like those? They're nice sized gators.
Well,
Not even taking into consideration, like I said, the wild boar and the that we got to experience and see, and the panthers and the all the other poisonous snakes and the interesting things out there. So anybody tells you going on a search is fantastic and this and that. It is, but when you're out there, you're putting your life at risk. You have to really be aware of your surroundings, like the Florida wildlife. When you're down there in the Everglades and the stuff that we went through, all right to Arizona where we were going through the desert and all those crevices, there was rattlesnakes everywhere. And it was basically, we were searching in a place I called the land time forgot. Out there at that national forest, and so when you're out searching, you have to be really careful, pay attention to your surroundings, and educate yourself on your surroundings before you go out to those areas. Obviously, I'm not from an area that has those sort of wildlife dangers. Being from Ohio, the worst thing I'm going to have is a squirrel that wants to throw nuts at me, or a skunk. And occasional few animals like that. We don't have that much around here. You know what I mean? So before I go to those areas, I have to educate myself.
yeah, that's always wise. But
But
the most important thing is
being
you're
out
searching. Yes, there are definitely risks, but that's why you listen to the locals, though. They know the area. Unfortunately, in Aji's situation, it seems like a lot of the locals weren't, or not too concerned about the area that the children were playing in either. And you know that from first-hand experience. Right, Gale? Okay, Gale?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I said right, Gale?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just go, yeah, just go yes. I got this video off, my eyeball is killing me. I cannot, it's still, you better send whatever you're going to send, Kevin.
Yeah, I think we all need some healing.
Okay, Pengchon, do you think you could help me out and try to send some healing to Brian and Gale?
Yeah, I'd like to explain something about healing.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it.
As for me, healing, I take it seriously, and let's just say that healing is not a quick process. And normally, I've seen other healers on the internet, and after 1 minute, they might as well just offer a prayer instead of a healing, because it's way too quick. But then I really can't judge them for their practice, because perhaps it's their belief that hey, perhaps they're healing in 1 minute. But as for me, when it comes to healing, it is not me as the healer, it is me guiding them to heal themselves. And normally I often guide them to be able to understand that they have the potential and the power to actually completely heal themselves, and it's in them, it's not me.
Yeah, I agree with that. So you think the body actually has its own ability to heal itself?
No, I agree with that, Brian. I just think I think my mind has gotten so weak lately from all the work that it's taking a toll on my mind and body.
Continue,
yeah,
Dom.
That's correct, Brian. The body does have potential to heal itself. It's more complicated in the terms of what's going through unconsciously and subconsciously as well. Like you mentioned about the placebo, where you're taking medicine and the person is healed instantly from that. It's actually more what's going on subconsciously as well, because the act of taking the medicine is actually opening yourself to a life force, an energy within yourself that triggers the healing process, and that also works the same way as well. To me, I wouldn't deny it because as a healer, it's really never me at all. When I do healing, I'm actually guiding them in a meditation. I'm actually telling them, I want you to visualize this, I want you to see this, I want you to acknowledge this and accept this and feel this. They're actually doing it, and the more they get into it, the more they actually manifest or perhaps get into a more physical function of their healing aspect, and that allows them to actually feel that, hey, I am healing and my body is reacting and it's working with me, and that allows me to be healed.
I've actually had several dream drawings on healing. I have a lot of cures, in my cure section from dreams that come from healing. And one of the dreams was talking about actually teaching your cells what to do and what they're doing wrong, as far as healing. As most of your cells in your body work together without you even thinking about it. They're born, they die. And every year, every cell in your body's been replaced. So basically, every year you're a different person, at least physically. But yet you're consciously still here, which is really weird if you think about it. Because you're constantly losing skin cells and stuff like that. But anyways, the dream was saying, and there was a couple drawings in there, and one of them, some type of Egyptian symbol or something like that. But it had something to do with actually teaching your cells, especially with cancers and stuff, to stop rapid growth of these cells, mutated cells. And I think it's really possible that in the future that something like this may work. And it may just be a state of mind that can actually teach your cells in your body what to do to face any type of illness. Because really it's all there, and most of the medicines that we take are just something telling your body to release some type of chemical or whatever in order to to cure the illness. But as far as the placebo effect, I think that there was a study. I think like 1,000 people were given a flu shot, and they said this flu shot will make you sick for a little while because it's a live virus. Okay, and it really wasn't. Okay, and they told that to these people, and then I'm not sure how many people, but a lot of people were experiencing flu-like symptoms, right? And then another group were told, this is a dead virus and you're not going to get the flu. There was like 10 times more people that were sick from the same shot that thought they were going to get sick. Explain that. There's been stories of people that were diagnosed with some terminal illness, and they never had it, but yet they died. So it makes just if I tell you have cancer, you've got 6 months to live, some people will actually start feeling sick even if they didn't really have it. And that to me is just, is amazing in a sad sort of way. Why is that? So the mind really does have a lot of control over over healing. Do you think?
Yeah, that's actually correct. Everything that we use materially to heal, whether medicine, we're using crystals, whether we're using magnets, whether we're using laser tools to actually cure any forms of illness, is actually forms of the tool that we're using to demonstrate our body that, or perhaps to persuade ourselves that that we want it to be healed.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Gale? Are you still with us?
I'm still here. I agree.
Okay. Well.
But in terms of energy, EMF, auras around us that actually cause an effect, perhaps to allow us to be healed, to be affected negatively or positively. For example, crystals. People often believe that, hey, just by being next to a crystal is going to allow them to feel balanced, to be connected, to be grounded, to be healed. But what's actually, I'm not gonna say actually, some of the results is more like, let's just say that crystals does have its own EMF, its own frequency level, its own vibrations. More like displaying a universal unconscious language that's speaking directly between that object of the crystals and the object of who you are with your state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore allows a trigger and forms that, hey, is telling yourself that, you know, may I have access so that you can, you know, be in a state of balance.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, healing is just a term that I prefer to call balancing.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We have to have you on more often, and I look forward to seeing what you're getting in some of these missing person cases. That will be. Do you mind if I post them publicly?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else? I think Jamie had a question.
Well, I wanted to say it's very nice to meet you. It's very interesting because, you know, it's hard. We talked about this before. It's hard to find like-minded people frequently. I don't know where people's brains are, but it is hard out here to find like-minded people that really do care. You know,
when it comes to like-minded, it's more like about, you know, people not trying to be biased on a certain view. You have to be able to resonate with either side of the view, where, you know, you can't just step into one side of the field and deny the other field, because, you know, you should always open yourself to perhaps it's the placebo, perhaps it's the mind, perhaps it's science. You know, they're actually always interrelated, always connected, and like Brian says, yes, there are a connection to life. There's, you know, nothing happens for you know, nothing happens just to happen. There's always a purpose for everything.
I agree with you. And like I said, it is nice to have conversation with people who are open-minded and care and have concern for others, are able to put their egos away and really be honest about what you do and what you say. And for me, that's I really appreciate that.
Well, thank you guys. Let's wrap this up for tonight. As you can see, this is my eyeball. Kevin, fix it, okay?
I'll fix it, Brian. I'm not close enough.
You guys want to add anything else?
Yes, thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, Gale. Thanks, everybody in the room for allowing me to be with you all and sharing my experience, my opinions. And thank you all.
You're welcome. It's nice having you on, too. I was opening up something here. Okay, so that said, we're going to get to these cases soon. I'm not sure exactly when.
Good night to everyone as well that's out there, and good night to everyone in chat. Appreciate you guys being out here and listening.
You're welcome. Our next show will be on Sunday night. We do our shows now Sunday through Thursday. So Sunday night we will definitely have, there's about 15 found cases that we have to cover, plus the new cases that we're working on. I'll continue to post daily as far as cases go in the on the website, and Deborah will get the cases in the forum too. That's at missingpersonsforum.com. And if you want to keep up to date with what Gale's doing, please go to psychicgale.com. And if you want to keep up to date with what Kevin's doing, go to clarityofawareness.com. He's got a lot of stuff there, a lot of really interesting stuff, and there's a forum there. I encourage you all to visit that forum. There's some stuff in there as far as new ideas and things like that regarding what's the word? Orb research.
Psychic ability development.
Right. The new cult, whatever you want to call it, and ideas of being self-aware, self-efficient. This is what I was looking for. Self-efficiency. There's a lot of stuff in there that we don't really cover on my website. And that's it. So thank you guys for coming on. This is a picture of Ajay Desir. He went missing January 10th, 2009 from Rockaway, Florida. My little banner ad on my face has worn off. Please go to findajay.com and post. We encourage you to post. Make a new page. Link to the website. That's another important thing. If you Google Find Ajay or even Ajay Desir, Aji is our website, or his website is The Fourth Return. We're hoping to make that #1. But more importantly, we're hoping that the media will get a hold of this and just, put his picture out there. I know that we've been contacting Oprah Winfrey. I'm not sure what's going on in that. I know that Nancy Grace doesn't seem to be interested. We don't know why, other than skin color. But we certainly encourage anybody to please do a story on Aji. His family misses him a lot. He is 6 years old, has the mental capacity of a 2-year-old. It's very important that this child be found. He's just important than any other child, and he's missing from America. He's missing from Florida. So anyways, with that said, good night, guys. We'll see you on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Don't forget to log on to Gale's chat room at 8 o'clock. I believe Sunday, right? Sunday and Thursday?
Sunday at 7.
Sunday at 7.
Psych-
It's okay. Whoa,
Psychic
okay.
Talk, Sunday at 7.
Well, we got a lineup for you then.
Talk about anything.
Okay.
That's me and Betty.
Okay, so Sunday at 7 o'clock. Go to how are they going there?
How?
Okay, go to Clarity of Awareness.
Go to my...
No.
No.
Psychic Talk Live is actually in the Clarity of Awareness chat room.
Right.
So the chat room that you're in, you click on COA. That would be with Gale and Betty. Betty is actually Kevin's mother, and they have a really good show. They talk about anything. So I encourage you to go there at 7 o'clock. Now, don't you have a show at 8 too?
Not on Sundays. On Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Missing Persons on the Psychic View.
Okay. So with Gale, it's Sunday at 7, Monday at 8, and Thursday at 8.
Right, and that's Eastern Standard.
Okay. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's still -5 GMT, or is it -4? Either way, if you're out of the country, you'll probably already know that. And then our show, me, Deborah, and Kevin, is on Sunday through Thursday nights now at 9 o'clock. We're usually a little bit late. We're trying to get that fixed, but we all got families and we all got things that come first. So we will get to that. We're trying to get on time. And that's all I got. So thank you guys, and thank you again for coming on. And we'll see you on Sunday night. Good night.